I recently just got to this stage, like I said, I recently just got here, but like how I feel now, I don't want to go back. Like, because before the things I was going through, I was going looking to make myself angry or to get me out of that peace stage. But I told myself, no more, LaKia. Like, I was in church one day and he said, leave everything at the altar. And that's what I did. I left it there.
Yep.
I prayed and I know God is going to guide me through everything, and he has my back through it all.
Holding me.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ari Squires, and welcome to the Release the Chains podcast, where we have real, raw, and revolutionary discussions for people just like you to help you release your mental, emotional, financial, and generational chains. Today, I'm excited to be joined by the beautiful LaKia Starks. Let me tell you a little bit about her before she comes in and just blesses us with her amazing story. She is an award-winning producer at Fox 5 Atlanta. She's also a celebrity host, speaker, and influencer who's received her bachelor and her master's degree from Troy University. And she's been in Atlanta for about 3 years with her beautiful daughter, Parker. So welcome. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I'm so glad that we just met, like really just met and haven't like hung out or anything, but you just had such an amazing spirit when I was in the room with you with all those other amazing women. Yes. And I was like, I want to bring her on because I know she has an amazing story. So tell us what brought you to your purpose, or do you feel like you are operating in your purpose now?
I feel like right now I'm on my way into operating into my purpose. I've been lost. There's been times where I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. There's been times where I feel like I'm not doing enough. And, you know, outside looking in, people are always like, oh my gosh, she has it all together. She has the perfect career. Like, she's successful. But like, what is successful? You know, like I don't define myself as successful yet because I haven't accomplished all the things that I want to accomplish. And I don't have that feeling inside of me to where I feel successful. So, but because I released a lot of things that I needed to get out of my system and the things that I was going through, and now I feel like I'm opening myself up to other opportunities and other things to help me feel like I am walking in my purpose.
That is so amazing. So what do you feel? Because I always tell people this, right? This whole thing about purpose, right? A lot of people say, I'm trying to find my purpose, or I don't know what my purpose is. And I'm one of those believers where I believe that our purpose was planted in us when that seed was planted in our mother's womb, right? And I feel like when we go about life, we know what it is, but we're afraid to step into it or admit it because it's scary. Yeah. Have you been there?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Even like when I first got into the business, it's like I always knew I wanted to be in television. I wanted to do something in television. But when that time had come, it was like, okay, how do I do it? Am I doing exactly what it is that I want to do? Because I've always wanted to do like entertainment wise too. So it's scary, and then you have to take that leap of faith because you can't. I'm from Troy, Alabama, and it's a small town, and the things that I needed to help me flourish wasn't there. So I had to take that leap of faith and like leave my family, my friends, to go after the things that could help me become LaKia. So that's when I was scared, and I think I made that change maybe in 2015. Okay. I was scared. I was depressed. I was broke. And
I've been there.
During that time, that's when I discovered who I was though. Yeah. That's how I found LaKia, because I was stressing my mother out because, you know, we love our babies. Yeah. And so she used to call and check on me every morning, like at midnight, because I went to work like at 1:00 in the morning. And she would call and just talk me through. I'm like, LaKia, are you okay? And so I got a second job just to like help me like meet people, because I was the type then where I didn't want to meet people. I didn't want to ask for help or
and
receive help from people. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I told I always tell my mom, like, no, I don't like asking for help. I had family there who I hadn't met at the time, but I wouldn't reach out. It's just because I just wanted to stay in my little box where that wasn't helping me.
Yeah.
And as soon as I got that second job and I started like, communicating more with my coworkers, that's when other opportunities started opening up for me. Like I started being my true self because I've always had it in me.
Yeah.
But when I moved, it's like because I was leaving things behind, old boyfriends and friends, etc. It kind of made me just be like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like this is not what I'm supposed to be doing.
I love it. But I love that you said you took action.
Yeah.
And that's what it takes. I feel like that's the process. It's like it's unknown, it's fearful, but you have to still move. And this is one thing that I saw that you said on your Facebook page. You said, when planning your life goals, to make it easier, think of life as a traffic light. I love that. So break that down for us.
And I have to give that quote credit to my mother.
Oh, wow.
Yes, because like she's really my shero. Like she talks me through everything. And when she said that, she was like, just think of it as a traffic light. When you start in the beginning, you at your red light and you're stopping. Like you take that minute to think about whatever it is that you want to do, plant your seed. And then, you have the middle light, the yellow light. And that's the caution light. So it's time to take caution, start preparing, start figuring out what it is that you need to do to make that plan into action. Yeah. And then green light, go. You started from red, you got the yellow. Now it's time to go.
Now it's time to go. I love that. And I love that because see, I moved out of Sacramento, California, which is a small town. And I too had this whole dream and vision of working in television and entertainment. And I couldn't do that in Sacramento. So I moved just like you, didn't know nobody. It was just me and my fiance at the time. And that was it. But because there was this, just this desire in me, knowing that there was more, I still was on that green light. And I went. So how was that for you? And what advice do you have someone who is like really looking to like make a major step like that?
So how I took my major step, I don't advise somebody to do it how I did it, but
sometimes you gotta take a risk.
But you did. Yeah. So I woke up one morning and I was upset with my boyfriend and I was upset with my mom. My mom told me I had to start going half on the bills. Oh my goodness, I wish I would have kept going half on those bills. But she was like,
you have your own bills. It's a little different.
So she was like, okay, you got to start paying something. And in my mind, I'm like, well, Mom, I just got into my career. Like, I'm just now starting to like do this. Why do you want me to like, help you pay bills? And so I was upset with him for some odd reason. So I worked on weekends and it was a Saturday and I went into work and I told my coworker, I was like, you know what? I'm just about to leave. I'm tired of being here. I'm upset. So I applied to a job in Charlotte, North Carolina. And it was a weekend morning producer position. And so I just applied out of spite. And then that was on a Saturday. Come Tuesday, I got a phone call.
Wow.
And she was like, LaKia, this is Karen from Fox 26. I was like, wow. Oh my goodness.
See what happens when you step out? When you step out on faith, the doors will open because you're moving how you're supposed to move. So that's good. So I suggest you do that, y'all. I suggest you do that.
And so, but then it turned out, I was like, that's what I was supposed to be doing though. Like I needed my mother telling me, giving me responsibility in order for me to become who LaKia needed to be or help become LaKia. So, but that's when I took that leap of faith. I was like, well, Mom, I'm going to go now. Like, I'm going to do it. She was like, you got it. But that's when I got depressed though. I was depressed maybe like a year and a half because I was leaving everybody behind. I went by myself. So, and it was like, I went through a depression stage about a year and a half. And then once I got my second job, that's when I kind of got out of it.
So let's pause really fast. So, because I want to talk about your second job. What was that process of getting out of that depression? Was it therapy? Was it self-work? How'd you heal?
So I had my mother. Then I reached out to my uncle and my aunt that lived in Tampa. And she recommended books for me. She also recommended this song by Whitney Houston, I Didn't Know My Own Strength. And oh my goodness, I listened to that song every single morning before work, and it just helped me become stronger and just realize like, LaKia, you got this, you can do it. You don't recognize your strength at this moment, but you are in your purpose. You're where you're supposed to be right now. And I listened to it every morning until I got that to like go and apply to the second job because I was in the house watching I finished all the seasons of Grey's Anatomy. Like, that was a serious depression. Like, I didn't move. I went to work and I came back home in my four doors because I felt like I was letting my old boyfriend down at the time because I just up and left. My mom, of course, my friends, my family, they were really supportive and wanted me to take that leap of faith. But at that time, you're young and you want that. You want that relationship and stuff like that. So it's like that's the only thing I could think about is my relationship, honestly. Like, it was just like it tore me down, like to the point where I even applied to jobs back home. I was going to leave television and do insurance. And I know nothing about selling insurance.
Because it was safe.
Like, just to get back home. Like, I didn't even care about what it was going to pay me or anything. I just took it just so I can get back home, just so I can be back closer to the person who I felt like I was hurting at the time. And then, so I kept listening to that song, though. My aunt kept reaching out to me and telling me to read books and just, uplifting me at the time. And that's when I was like, okay, yeah. And stuff started just rolling in for me. I started working at Loft. I got an opportunity to be a freelance professor at the journalism school beside the station.
Nice.
I booked Kid and Play. That was like one of my first like big time celebrity people I booked on my show. Then after that, I kept like getting in touch with other publicists and stuff and going out to lunch and meeting people. So it's like my life just kind of like took off for a little brief minute, and I was like really realizing like what I was capable of. Because, I didn't know I was capable of all those things. And so it took me being depressed to realize who I was and what I was capable of.
Wow.
So that depression stage, I needed that.
Okay.
I needed that.
So what'd you learn from that? What's your biggest lesson?
It's okay to take that leap of faith. Yeah. It's okay to leave certain people or things behind.
Yeah.
Like, because that no longer benefited me.
That's the whole thing of releasing a change. Right? Because those things were keeping you stuck from what was really purposeful for you, what was meaningful for you, what was meant for your life.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you did, especially, I don't know how old you are, how young you are, but especially at a young age, because a lot of people get so stuck on what they want that they'll stay in that space for too long. Right? And so time is being wasted. Is you're losing yourself. So I'm glad that you did it. Yeah. I'm glad that you did it.
Now I was like, okay, I was supposed to do it. In the beginning, it was just like, oh my goodness.
So what do you feel now? You feel like you're still not all the way in your purpose. Is there there's more that you want to do?
So yes, because when I moved here, so the guy I was dating beforehand, we broke up, and then I started dating who was Parker's dad. And so I think I got in that relationship really to try to like, cope and like try to like get over someone else. But it kind of course I had grew to like really adore him and, feel like this is what I was supposed to be doing. And so in the beginning, I wrote down, after I graduated college in 2013, I wrote down goals that I wanted to be in Atlanta in 5 years after I graduated college. So that's one of the things too that I kept in mind. Like 5 years, I wrote it down on paper. 5 years, I wanted to be in Atlanta. And so I had that first depression stage, and then I had another depression stage where the boyfriend who I left broke up with me on Thanksgiving, maybe like a year and a half or 2 years after I moved there. And that really hurt me because like, no, I thought that's who I was going to be with. This is who I was going to like live my life with, etc. And it came out of nowhere. So that really hurt me because it came out of nowhere. And so then I met the other guy, and we started dating. He lived in Atlanta at the time, and I was in Charlotte. And, he was like feeding me everything that I wanted to hear. As a woman, you want to hear certain things. And then I'm fresh out of a relationship, and I just wanted to feel loved and just feel like I was LaKia again because I had lost myself yet again. Yeah. So, but after that relationship, I started reading a book by Stephen Furtick. It's called oh my goodness, I'll come back to it. I forgot. But I started reading that book. And it was like, it had I am words in it. And it helped you realize like who you are. I am worthy. I am strong. I am confident. Like I am beautiful. I am educated. And so that book really helped me get out of that. But it then led me into a relationship that kind of brought me down. I got a blessing out of it because I got Parker, but it also brought me down. But during the time, it's like I was seeing it. I saw it was like red flags, but I ignored
them. Yeah.
And so when
we've been talking about that a lot during the Release and Change podcast.
So it's like I ignored all the red flags, but it's like it just still some part of it still felt right, like I was supposed to be doing it. Then I got pregnant, so it's like I needed to become closer to home, and so I applied to the job in Atlanta, but I didn't get it the first time. And so so then I applied again, and then I got it. And
you
so
are like determined.
Oh, yes.
I love that you are so determined.
Yes.
Because the power of perseverance,
Yes.
the power of resiliency, and the power
Yes.
of not giving up.
Yes.
Those are chains that hold so many people back, and I see it all the time. So kudos to you, sis. I just want to give you an applause, because I feel like when people are going through these things, it's such a challenge, and you don't know where you are in that process. And we need people to celebrate us in those moments as we celebrate ourselves. So thank you for sharing that.
Yes. No more chains holding me.
Hi, I'm Coach Ari Squires, and I'm here to talk to you today briefly about creating marketing magic, right? I believe in magic, and especially believe in marketing magic. As a business coach, a brand manager, I help my clients increase their brand awareness and increase their profits through strategic business coaching and brand management. So I manage brands and I help them, build their equity, get booked for speaking engagements and sell their courses and all these different things that a lot of people just don't have the time to do. So marketing magic is like crucial. And so there's so many different ways to create this magic. It's all about client attraction and saying the right things and positioning yourself in the right places and, doing all the right things online and offline. But a part of creating marketing magic is really making sure that your brand... Wait, stop. I'm not going to give it to you all right here, but you can get your top 10 marketing mistakes and how to create marketing magic. And I'm going to throw in a bonus brand checklist, all for free. All you have to do is text brand to 202-410-0438. Go ahead and get your free brand equity building products today.
No more chains holding me.
All right, so like I said, I love your perseverance, and that's a strong mentality. And so a lot of people are tapped into motivation, right? And affirmations, which are really, really good. But sometimes that's not enough.
Right.
What else for you or for someone listening, what else would they need in order to move forward?
So I recently started therapy. And, hearing the word therapy can be scary sometimes. And, and a lot of people feel like they don't need it or they don't want to go because of the stigma that's attached to it. And I feel like that's what has helped me now because of everything that I've been going through. I started therapy in February of this year. And, you can go for a number of reasons. Like some people, you can go because of the pandemic, but the pandemic isn't what kind of like brought me down. It was my relationship that I was in. It was tearing me down mentally, emotionally, physically. I was in an abusive relationship, all three. And I finally got to a point where I can't take it anymore. I'm not going to take it anymore. Like I am worthy. Like I just kept, and it took friends telling me that they weren't going to be my friend anymore. So I started going to therapy in February, and it has helped me to, of course, it's still a process and it's still a journey, and I'm still learning and going through everything, but I'm a lot stronger now. I'm a lot wiser now. I can handle certain situations a lot better because I'm going through so much. And it's just like the average person, like my friends tell me, oh my goodness, I don't see how you can do it. Like if it was me, I don't know what I would do. So, but
and that's so crazy because I bet your friends are learning from you too.
Yes.
Seeing you go through the fire and seeing you come out on the other side, even though you may feel like you're still in it.
Yes.
But our lives are inspirational for other people as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And then like sometimes I tell myself nobody could be going through what I'm going through. Like I feel like nobody is going through, like I'm going through custody things right now with my daughter and going to court, having to pay a lawyer. And I feel like I picked the wrong profession, but,
because all the research things you have to learn about yourself. When you go through stuff, you realize how strong you are, and you realize that you can do more than what you could do, what you thought you could do.
Yes.
So I'm just like, I'm so proud of you for that. But here's the thing, because we don't think that nobody else is going through it. That's why we have to share our story. Because a lot of people keep it inside, they suppress it, and then there's suicide, there's even, deeper dives in depression. People lose themselves, their mental health suffers. So if you guys are going through something, talk to somebody. And I like that your friends was like, we're not going to be your friend no more.
My friend, she's threatened. She was like, I'm not coming down anymore. I will not be your friend anymore.
Love, though.
Yeah, and I needed that.
Yeah, that's like my mom. She had to kick me out the house. Yeah. She had to really just like say, I'm done with you. Yeah. Because then I didn't have anything else to fall, nobody to fall on except myself. Right. And then that's when I really realized, like the power that I had. So let's talk about your career in television as a producer. Tell us what a newsroom producer does.
So I am the 10 o'clock producer for Fox 5 Atlanta. I am in charge of putting down the rundown. So everything that you see on the television, I kind of like stack it and prepare it with like the stories. I write the stories for the anchors. I do the supers, which is like the little banners at the bottom, the boxes, and the structure of the show, make it how it flows. I'm in charge of that. And my guest is my show is kind of unique as well because I have guests on my show as well. So I have since we're in the pandemic, we're doing everything virtually now. So I have Zoom segments or Skype or satellites, and I oftentimes book guests to come on my show. I love to help out in that area because that's something that I love to do. I love the entertainment side of it. Right. So that's my thing. So when people reach out to me, it's like, okay, I'll see what I can do, because before the pandemic, I was getting a chance to go out and host red carpets and do movie screenings for my show. Okay. When I moved here, I got a chance to do the BET Hip Hop Awards, and that was really, really exciting, and doing movie screenings. And that's when I felt like, yes, my life is like taking off. Cool. And, and so, but that's what I love. I love doing things like that for my show, and I love helping people. I love giving offering my support and my help, and like helping young journalists come up as well. Like I always tell them, because I didn't have that help. I didn't have a mentor to help guide me along the way. So any way I can help someone, that's awesome. I'm always willing to do so.
So what should we know? Like, because we see the supers and we see the interviews and we see the end product.
Yeah, right. You see the 20% of it, not the 80%.
I like that. I love that. That's good. Ooh, we can talk about that later when it comes to success too. Because what we see on social media is only the 20%. Yes. It's not that stuff that goes on behind the curtain, right? So what would you share with us that we don't know that goes on behind the scenes?
So, and it's a lot harder now because I'm working from home. And so just imagine when like breaking news happen and you're not in the newsroom with your managers and they're calling you, look, we have to put this line in, or covering like the presidential election. Like I did all that from home. So can you imagine like how stressful it was, like not being in the room, having access to the desk and giving you tips that way. So it's a lot. Like I was always told it was 80% preparation and 20% execution. That's exactly what it is. All of the hard work is in the beginning. So by the time when I wake up at 3 in the morning, from 3 until 9:45 is 80%. That's the hard work, putting everything together, searching for stories, because every day is not the same. It's something different every single day.
I'm sure that makes it exciting.
Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Now
that's the kind of job I can have, because I can't do nothing that's the same
thing.
Every
it's so boring.
Time.
Yes, you never know what you're going to expect. Sometimes it's sad, but just covering the things, and it's also a learning moment for you as well. You learn things throughout these stories. Like sometimes you can help identify with some of the stories. So, but I love it. But it's a lot of hard work, but it's fun, and it's exciting to see your work when that 20% happens. When it's 10 o'clock and it's showtime. It's so
and you
rewarding.
Put your thought behind it. So listen, there's a lot of people now, even including myself, who are creating podcasts. Yes. Like I love the internet. I love life now. Yeah. Because you can literally become anybody you want to be. Yeah. You can do anything you want to do. Yeah. Because of the power of the internet and our cell phones, right? But everybody's not qualified.
Yeah, that's true.
So for my content creators out there, because there's a lot of people starting businesses, interviewing people and getting their feet wet. What advice? Because I would consider you an expert because you're in the field. You got your degrees to prove it, master's degree. You have the experience, so you can teach content creators. What advice would you give to a content creator who's looking to create their own content for their audiences?
And what I would say in the beginning, definitely don't look at numbers. Don't look at the amount of followers you have, because that can be intimidating, especially when you're on social media and you're looking at all the other influencers or content creators and you see how many followers they have. But don't necessarily just focus on that. Just know your target audience, know what it is that you want to put out there, and just execute. Because your numbers will come as your content and everything grows. Your numbers will come. Like, don't worry about. That's my biggest thing, because that's something I used to look at too, though. Like, I don't have enough followers. Nobody's going to know me.
It's natural. But see, let me tell you this. I'm a business coach, right? Brand man. And most of my clients who have 1,000 followers, they're making $1,000 a day. But then you have people who have 100,000 followers, and they're depressed. They're not in their purpose. They're not making any money. They sleeping on their grandma couch. You know, it's just all these things. So don't let the numbers fool you. So I'm so glad
that's something big, because I used to look at it as like, nobody's
you think that's an ego thing? You think it is? Like, if we're being honest, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think so.
And I think social media has done that for us. Yeah,
definitely. Because like you said, you can be anybody you want to be on social media. So it's so easy to get caught up in the social media aspect, because like I hold a lot of things in, but looking at my social media, you would think that I'm always happy, or I have no issues, I have no problems.
That's true.
But that's because I don't like to express it that often.
That's true.
And then I realize that's not healthy. So I every now and then I'll share something, let people know that I'm human.
But you have your outlets though, and that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. So what is good content, you know, for the content creators, the YouTubers, the podcasters, people are starting their own magazines. I mean, you can do anything you want to do. Like, there's no excuse. You can go and work for organizations and Black Enterprise and all of these great media outlets. What would you consider good content in your opinion?
In my opinion, good content is, I think it also, it depends on your audience, and it depends on what it is that you're trying to put out there. Because if I'm selling, or I'm trying to like promote high heels or something like that, I'm going to know my target, audience. I'm going to go somewhere probably like the college students up until like 27, 30. Not saying the older 30, they don't wear it, but I just know right now, fresh out of college, and these kids are the people, they're looking at social media influencers and seeing like their body types and what they're wearing. So I think just know your target audience. That's big. That's key, I think.
And that's business 101. It's the first thing, and knowing who they are, so you can speak their language, et cetera, et cetera. So that's good to hear it come from someone who may not all the way be entrepreneur, but in the career, and it's the same thing. Definitely. Know your audience.
Especially, that's like when you want to start a podcast. Like, I thought about starting, but I didn't know where I wanted to put the podcast. But I went to Facebook first because I knew my audience, and I knew like they knew me more, and the content, the things that I was saying, they could relate to it.
Exactly.
So it's like I started there first, even though I love Instagram, but it was like, I'm going to go to Facebook, and that's where my views, like I did a podcast maybe like a month, and the views were just kept reaching and reaching, but I put a halt to it. But
started back because people need to hear. I mean, podcasting is the future, right? Podcasting is the future. Who would have thought that we would want to sit in our cars or in our rooms or whatever, our dorms, and listen to people talk? But it's so empowering.
It really is.
It's life changing. So I encourage you to do it. I'm one of those people where follow your heart. And you got to do it for the right reason.
Exactly.
For me, like I shared with you before we started rolling, if it's just one person, that is touched and is moved, we've done our job.
Exactly.
And when you stay there, you're not, because I was talking to my husband about that recently, like, oh my gosh, it wasn't that many views. He was like, so? But it was X amount of views. Shouldn't you? And I was like, you know what?
Celebrate that.
Let me thank everybody for listening and watching, because I'm grateful for that. And gratitude goes a long way. Gratitude goes a long way. So let me ask you about this too when it comes to success, right? Because, you saying, I know you're like in the infancy stage of your career, which is amazing. And you've had a lot of success. You've done a lot of great things. When it comes to social media or people who are wanting to do similar things that you do, because I love that you're mentoring other journalists. Being that we have social media nowadays, a lot of people want to, Jay-Z made a quote. He said, don't copy the success, copy the process, emulate the process, he said. And I love that. And I just did a video about that. What does that mean to you when you hear that? Don't copy success, but emulate the process.
So to me, when you said it to me, I was like, so when I hear it, it means like, say I'm just going to give a hypothetical here.
Mm-hmm.
I see someone walking down or someone on social media, and they already have 2 businesses, and they're selling this, and they're very successful. But I don't know the process that it took for them to get there.
Right.
I don't know the necessary steps. So I'm not just going to go ahead and step in it and think that I can already just be an entrepreneur and sell those things. I need to know the background. I need to know what it took for that person to get there. I need to know the steps and just, and just learn and study and understand everything it took for that person to get there. Because it's so easy to go on social media and just post a picture and make it seem like you're an entrepreneur. You're doing something.
Reels.
Yeah. But I need to make sure you understand the steps that it took for that person to get there. Now, everybody's journey is going to be different, and everybody's going to go through different obstacles. But just make sure you do that, because it's not going to be easy. And if it's, in my opinion, if it's easy, I don't want it.
That's good. I thought you were going to say if it's easy, everybody would be doing it. That's what my mom used to say. If it's easy, it's like, this is hard. Well, if it's easy,
I don't want it. If it's that easy for me to
that.
get, I do not want it.
I love that. That is so good. Because what I love about the process is what you learn about yourself. And who you become. So, quick question. Who have you become so far in your process?
Oh, that's a good question. I feel like I've become an amazing mother. That's first, like amazing mother. And I am succeeding in my career. I'm learning everything that I need to learn. Every day I learn something different.
Awesome.
And then I love to be a mentor or influencer, just helping someone along the way. Because like I said, it's not easy being in this business. It's not easy doing anything.
Right.
And so if I can help someone, I'm going to do that.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
No more chains holding me.
Are you 100% sure you're going to have a great retirement, or do you have some doubt? What if I could show you how to get out of debt in 9 years or less using a proven system that works, including your mortgage, without you spending any more money than you're already spending right now? Would that be a conversation you'd be willing to have? If so, contact Sharon L. Jennings. She is a certified Your Family Bank authorized representative. Email Sharon at lifetowealth@gmail.com for a complimentary consultation.
No more chains holding me.
I want to get into your personal story a little bit later, but before we move on to that, I'm really big on the Black culture, right? I'm really Black pride, Black power. Like, I love us.
Yes.
And that's why I love living in Atlanta, because it has this us vibe, this us, this culture. I just really love it.
Yeah.
But as creators, as people who are sharing information to the world, where do you think we're going wrong? Or what do you think we're not doing enough of?
I would say we're not supporting one another. I think that's what I feel like we can do more. It's so much more we can do. And I don't know if I was saying this out loud to somebody or was I just thinking it, but a lot of us don't like to support each other. And if you don't have the necessary credentials, or you don't have those followers or the likes, they're not going to watch your stuff. They're not going to support you. They're not going to do certain things. But if it was someone they didn't know, but that has like 5.2 million followers, they would support that person. So I think we need to learn to support one another. I think sometimes we get intimidated by others' success, or we get jealous. But I think if it's less of that and more supporting, because we all can help one another.
There you go. And I love that you said that, because it's so funny, because I'll hear somebody who may not be an influencer or a celebrity or have a big brand. Let's say that, because that word influencer, I don't like it.
Okay.
But someone who may be not as known, and they can say something powerful, right? And someone else, Will Smith, who I love, can say it. And now it's this huge big thing when someone else had already said it. And it was overlooked. It was just as powerful. But it was overlooked. And that really, really bothered. So I'm glad that you said that. Because support is really big. Do you think it's more so among Black women or just Blacks in general?
I think Blacks in general. I was going to just say Black women, but I think it's Blacks in general.
I agree.
It's in general. We have to do better.
I agree. So So, and speaking about your personal life, and I'm not trying to get all in your business,
Mm-hmm.
but I just think that when we share these chains and this process of releasing the chains,
Mm-hmm.
it helps other people. So I've come up during my journey of releasing my own chains of being incarcerated and homeless and $5 to my name, but then pulling myself up and believing in myself and changing my life totally, completely by releasing people, moving out of a city that was not good for me, and changing my life. I had to go through these 7 steps, right? And oftentimes I find myself going through them again, certain parts of it, because healing and releasing chains, as you know, as you shared, it's a process.
It is.
And it's an ongoing process. And I think we always are going to be in that process. So you'll see right there, if you can see, I have the 7 steps. The first one, even though it's not necessarily in these steps, but this is part of the process. The first one is listening, peeling, detaching, forgiving, trusting, healing, and evolving. Where you are right now in your process, where do you think you are at in your process, and why?
Right now, as I sit here, I'm evolving. I just left the healing stage.
I love that.
Well,
tell to us about the healing stage, because I know that process very well, right? Especially the forgiving part.
Yeah.
Having to forgive
and that's
somebody,
a part of the healing.
It is it is a very big part of healing. But some people can get to healing without forgiving, but then some people can't. You can't do the opposite.
Yeah.
So tell us about that process for you, that healing. What was that, and then now you're in this place of involvement. What's the shift?
So I needed to forgive in order for me to heal. I had to forgive my daughter's father for I was just, I guess, disappointed, hurt, the things that we went through, and I wanted that family. Like I wanted us to be together and do what we need to do for Parker. I feel like things had changed, but I just kept being let down. I degraded myself sometimes in certain ways. I lost LaKia just doing things that I know I wouldn't do. Like, and I was that person for too long.
So if you knew that, what do you think was going on in you that made you say, so what?
It was, I think, Parker. No, not Parker. It was just fear. That's what it was. It was fear, because I tried to go a lot of times. I tried to leave, but he wouldn't let me. And I know people say he wouldn't let you. How could someone not let you? But that was the case. Like, he wouldn't let me. And it took me saying enough is enough. It took my friends, like I mentioned before, and it took me doing something that I didn't want to do, but I had to get the law involved. I had to do what I needed to do to get me back, because I knew it wasn't me. And although he probably thought it was me, or others may have thought it was me, but it wasn't. That wasn't the LaKia that I was used to. So the forgiving stage, I forgive him from everything, even though right now I'm still going through so much stuff, but going to therapy has taught me to forgive and started my healing process.
And it sounds like, I'm sorry to cut you off, that you put yourself first.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's a big step. Yeah. And as a Black woman, I want you to know the power that you have. Right. Because call me a feminist if you want to. But if we really look at it, men need us. Yeah. More than we need them. Yeah. We need each other. Yeah. But if you look at the Black woman, the woman, we give birth to things. Yes. We give life to things. I'm sure when you guys were together, you put structure and order in his life. And I'm sure, did some great things in your life.
Yeah. Well. Oh, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah. But I want women, and you, and I think you're evolving through this now and discovering through your healing process, is the power that you truly have. Yes. And when you have that power, you won't allow anyone to take it from you, because you cherish who you are so much that you value that power. And I just want you to remember that. So that was part of your healing.
Yeah. I would never let anyone put me through the things that I've been through before. So therapy has helped. And my last session that I had last week, she told me about meditation. I've tried, on day 4 and I love it. Like the inner peace that it brings to me and just my thought process and how I just focus on something, even though, the thoughts may come, but then I put it back in line and be like, okay, no, LaKia, get this together. So now I'm focusing on being the best version of LaKia so I can be that best version of LaKia to my daughter and to everyone else that's around me.
I love that. And meditation is powerful. I've been meditating since I started working with a life coach and then my therapist later. But my life coach in 2013 really got me into guided meditations because it kept me a little more focused on myself because I wasn't my thought. And let me tell you this, you guys, for people who are interested in meditation, your mind is always going to wander. When your mind stops wandering, you're dead. Okay? So your mind's always going to wander in a state of meditation. But the guided meditations really will help you because you're listening to a voice that's guiding you through your process. So now, it's been so many years later, I can just get in my place. And I love that it's peaceful. And a lot of people are afraid to get into meditation because they think it's some religious code or that it's something bad, but it's not even a religious or a spirit. Well, it's spiritual.
Yeah, it's spiritual. Yeah, because it connects you in just whatever it is that you want to focus on, whatever it is that you need help with to help with your inner self. So, but it helped. I'm like I said, I'm on day 4, but I really, really love that my therapist suggested it to me.
So, what do you love most about being this process of evolving?
Realizing how resilient I am. Like, I love when you said that word because that's like something that I just really like say to myself, just like how strong I am. Yeah. Because I was so weak. Yeah. I was very weak. And now it's like, I feel like a new person now. And I'm just thinking of other ways to do more. Like I said before, I feel like I wasn't doing enough. So now I'm focusing on that. I'm more focused on my daughter now because of all the distractions I had before, I wasn't focusing on the things that I needed to. And I have this new person in my life who helps me, is patient with me, and understands everything that I went through and what I'm going through. So I love this version, like this evolving stage of my life. I love
that. It sounds very similar to my story when I met my husband. Because it's like when you meet that man when you're broken and they're holding your hand as you're pulling all the pieces together. It's a strong foundation.
Oh my goodness, it really is.
Such a strong foundation. And that's a good man who will walk with you in that phase. People think that they gotta have their stuff all the way together first and then he'll come. No, boo. No. Because he's not gonna be all the way together either.
Exactly. We're not perfect.
None of us
so
are.
He's there, and because at one time I felt like I was going to push him away because everything that I was going through, but he was like, "I'm not leaving."
I love
It's
that.
like, "I'm here with you. We got this." So I really appreciate him for that too.
I love that, and it's like I love that you said too about peace, because that's why you're in a state of evolving and while you're in healing, because once you find peace, oh my goodness, there ain't no going back.
Nope,
to the way things used to be.
No, not at all. Like, and I recently just got to this stage, like I said, I recently just got here, but like how I feel now, I don't want to go back. Like, because before the things I was going through, I was going looking to make myself angry or to get me out of that peace stage. But I told myself, no more, LaKia. Like, I was in church one day and he said, leave everything at the altar. And that's what I did. I left it there. Yep. I prayed and I know God is going to guide me through everything and he has my back through it all. And because I was stressing myself out. Yeah. And like, it's like, I was really stressing myself out, but I was like, no, I'm not. I pray. I know my truth. I know everything that's going on. So I'm just, you know what? My mama told me I have a mouthpiece. I have a lawyer right now. So I have a mouthpiece who can speak for me. So just
and let it go.
Release it.
And let it go the way it's supposed to go. Yeah. It's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen anyway.
Anyway, exactly.
Right? You only got so much control.
Yes. So I left it.
That's lovely. I call it release the chains, honey.
I released the chains.
Yes. I love it. So what's next for LaKia?
So what's next? I want to write a book.
Nice.
So I just reached out to someone that I know who's a publicist and told, like, I was just laying in bed one day and that's how it came to me. Because at first I was like, do I want to go do interviews? But no, it's time for me to tell my story. Or if it's not telling my story, it's to give information to help the next person who's been going through something or struggling with something.
And writing a book, I'm telling you, I've written 11. But my first book was Release the Chains and it was so therapeutic. It was the first time that I even talked about the death of my mother. Like, I've never shared the story of my mother dying in the hospital with nobody except my husband. And it was, even when I think about it, it's emotional, you know, but it was so therapeutic because I was able to release that in that process. And that was the only part of the book that I haven't reread, that I didn't reread after I wrote it. It just came out, and I was able to like have my freedom from it, my peace with it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, writing a book is very good. It's so therapeutic for you. It's going to help so many other people.
Yep.
So that's amazing. So the book, and then what else you think?
Let's see.
Because that's
yeah.
amazing.
So, writing the book, just still, you know, enjoying this time now with Parker. She's 2. So I'm definitely enjoying every bit of it and growing with her, learning with her. Like I said, I have an amazing man with me by my side now. So hopefully some good things will be coming with that soon. My career, I'll be going back to the office soon. So that's going to give me some peace too. You know, I'm going back in the office. So, but my big thing now is just, I want to help somebody else. That's because I just feel like everything that I've been through, I need to help someone, because I know, like I said, at first I didn't think people went through what I was going through, but I know there's someone out there. So I feel like, and plus I just want to get it all out so I can just feel free. Like I just want to feel free and just get it all out, because it's so much that's going on back there and just a lot of talking. So it's just, you know, I just need to do what I need to do to be free and keep my freedom and keep my peace.
I love it. I'm all about peace, honey. Once you find peace, ain't no going back. So how can people, you know, connect with you, get in touch with you? You can share your social media handles. Be sure that you spell it, because there are people watching and listening.
So everybody can follow me on Instagram at LaKia for real. That's LAKIA with the number 4 real. Keep up with me on Facebook, LaKia Starks. My first name, LaKia, LAKIA Starks, STRKS, and also on Twitter at _LaKia Starks.
All right. Awesome. So I've been asking you all these questions, and you don't have to ask a question, but do you have a question for me? I know, you know, we're just getting to know each other, but is there any question that you have that you could ask me that maybe someone else could glean from, or something you may just want to ask? I just like
so
to
ask we mentioned podcasts and how like, you know, podcasts are the new thing, and it's the way to connect and also help someone. Explain, I guess, like, tell me what made you start, and then the process behind it. How was that process?
Ooh, that process. Let me be honest, if I could be honest. At the time of this interview, I've only released 3 episodes, but I started filming maybe 2 months prior to. So I am actually in my process. So I am learning a lot through the process. You have to be very patient, because as you are aware, when you're booking people, sometimes things happen, and you gotta be able to make adjustments very, very fast. You gotta think on your toes. But the process is, wow. Knowing who your audience is, number 1.
Yes.
Knowing what your purpose is, what the purpose of the podcast is going to be, how do you want to change people's lives, impact people's lives? How is it going to benefit somebody, right? But during the process, I'm learning a lot about myself too. Yeah. Because I'm having such great conversations with people where I'm learning more about myself and my growth and my evolution. But podcasts are amazing. Start booking your guests. Try to book everybody. Like, try to do all your recordings early, so you have months or weeks and weeks worth of content, because it would be a challenge for me with my schedule, and you have a little one. Yes. So trying to do something weekly, some people can, and they do really good. Like they'll show up weekly, you know, and record. But I like to, let me book 3 shows in one day. Now I got 3 weeks worth of content, so I can focus on my business, my family, and those types of things. So that's some tips and some strategy, but it's just the whole part of building a business. It's a business. A podcast, it's a business. So do your business development, you know, learn all of those things when it comes to building a business, so that you're organized, you have structure and all of those things. So I wish you luck, and definitely call on me if you have any questions. There's different places where you have to load your podcast. And
see, you say you have to be patient. And I was like, I think that's what lost me. I was just like, no, I can't do this. I can't.
You can. Once you get started, it becomes really easy. But get some help. You gotta get an editor to edit the
see, that's why I was trying to do it all by myself, and I couldn't do that because I'm working. I have a 2-year-old, you know, and it's like, it's overwhelming. So I was like, you know what? I just can't. So you need a team.
You got to get at least one person to help you.
Okay.
At least one person to help you, at least with the editing process, because it's too much.
Yes.
I mean, just to record, it's a lot that goes into this kind of thing. Even if it's just an audio podcast.
Okay.
If you're going to be doing Zoom, if you're going to be doing it the way I do it, where it's live recording, it's a lot that goes into it. So that's why I say get you a team.
Yeah,
definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, you guys. Well, I really, really hope that you guys had gleaned from this information, and it has inspired you and empowered you to, again, want to release your chains, no matter where you are in the process of releasing your chains. Be sure to like and subscribe. Please make sure you go to our Release the Chains IG page. We're growing that. We're building it. We'll be sharing content on there. You can also follow me on Ari Squires Speaks all across the board. That's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think I said that already. But make sure you like and subscribe, and please share, because again, as she said, we got to support each other. Even though I don't do what I do for support, I'm here to put this content out for those who want to support themselves. So thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next time.
No more chains holding me.